hear that shit.
Dude, it was hummus. I had hummus before that. That's probably what you're smelling. That garlic roasted pureness Sabra good hummus. The show case file number 43 is brought to you by Sabra Hummus. For all your Sabra hummus needs, check out ShopRite in the deli case aisle.
Yeah, YouTube is getting this. So this is all exclusive to YouTube. What's up, YouTube? We'll just wait till a couple people trickle in, join the conversation.
Okay.
We're talking about
About Sabra hummus today.
and getting rid of your Alexa. Do you guys have one?
No.
Do you have a Google Home? What do you guys have? Do you have anything?
We do not have anything.
Yeah, we'll set up. I'm just setting up all the stuff. So when this comes up, we're ready to rock and roll. Yeah, just talking to the mic, kid.
One check, one two. Sabra hummus.
So
I did have Sabra hummus. It was really good, man. I put it on a burger.
did you?
I'm doing like the no carb like throughout the day. Just
All
carbs around my workout.
God.
Feeling good, man. Feeling good.
You're so stupid. Yeah, we look good, man. We're live on YouTube. What's up, YouTube?
I always look good.
What should we call this one?
Throw out your Alexa so we can go snatch them up and sell them on eBay.
I mean, I might change it, but there it is for now. On the show notes, Happy New Year to everybody in YouTube land. All right, we'll set up the show. I think we're good to go.
Let's do it. Let's rock and roll.
It's silent. All right. Sorry.
Welcome to Case File 43. This is the center of weirdness. I'm your host, Matt. This is Greg.
Yeah, people love this.
Look at me. I work out all the time. My name is Matt. La la la.
That's why Greg is not
I'm not a what? This should be good.
Yeah, that's why he's not a part of the show anymore.
DB Cooper.
It's 43. I can't believe it's episode 43 already.
DB Cooper
What?
is
DB?
still the most highly contested episode.
No, it's not.
It got feisty. It got feisty in here.
Join us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is what you're gonna get most of the show. No, you're gonna get good content, I'm for sure.
This is just before the show.
Before the show that people are gonna get on
Little nuggets.
YouTube. All right, let's do this. You ready?
Let's do it.
Actually, we still have 40 seconds.
Just let's do it.
All right. You starting this, or you want me to start this? I'll start this
Go ahead.
because Greg doesn't know much about starting shows.
Yeah, I'm not. I like to
You just like to
jump in there.
You like to get in here, sit on the couch, and be like, "Yo, when are we starting the show?"
Pretty much.
We need to get Greg's tech savvy enough where I could just come in and the shit's ready to go.
Have you talked to the ghost lately?
Yeah, he doesn't like to be on the show.
I know that, but I'm just saying. Have you talked to him?
Yeah, why? I saw him today.
I don't know, man. I think this would be up his alley.
It would be. We actually had some conversations about it. We got 10 seconds.
You don't
All right.
give a shit.
All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll start off with some music in a little bit. Welcome to Nightmare 365 podcast, everybody. Happy New Year. Greg is excited. What's up, G?
I'm excited for the new year.
Are you?
2019, big year.
How did you think our podcast, went in 2018? That was pretty much our first full year.
It definitely grew a lot.
Has it been fun?
It's been a lot of fun. I think
exciting.
We've covered a wide variety
We have been. And
of a lot of topics.
there's a couple I do want to revisit.
Which ones?
Maybe a DB Cooper, because there was a lot of, we had disagreements. So that's a good thing, right?
We did have a lot of
So
disagreements on that.
It's not so much of like, all right.
Were we on YouTube?
Yeah, everything was on YouTube.
Was that on YouTube?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, okay.
We didn't start doing a lot of YouTube stuff until our later episodes.
Yeah.
So at the
I
very
know that.
beginning, it was not like this at all. Our studio is definitely built up. So if you want to check that out,
We do offer tours every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
8 to 10.
Imagine that.
That would be great. People wanted to come tour the studio.
Oh, dude, that
But,
was fucking
Yeah,
hysterical.
we added a lot of stuff to the studio over the years, so it's been good.
Your
Hopefully,
your lunch pail.
my lunch pail, my Bigfoot lunch pail, we have that going on.
That
so.
is a pretty cool lunch pail. I do like that.
Yeah, we saw it in, a little oddity store.
So besides DB Cooper, which one?
I would definitely like to, same thing like a Bigfoot. I think a Bigfoot in a different variety. Yeah. I'm obsessed with Bigfoots. And speaking of the lunchbox, it's Bigfoot.
Okay.
So that's a good thing. Stuff like that, I think would be cool. But now that we have the YouTube aspect of the show,
9/11.
yeah, well, that was another. We didn't do a show on 9/11.
No,
but I know you want
to.
to. So this is the year to do it. I think we have a lot of good episodes coming up. We're going to talk about like Jack the Ripper, Georgia Guidestones. We have Project Blue Book. Obviously, the History Channel is coming out with their, I guess you would say it's a drama series more than really a documentary.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool to talk about. We have some good guests coming up. I actually been talking to a couple authors, but more in the paranormal ghost end of it. One of them's a UFO guy, so that'd be kind of cool to jump into. But our big thing is YouTube, man. We're trying to grow our YouTube channel, so go over, subscribe to our YouTube channel because
help us out. And there's going to be tons of new videos coming out. Matt's been doing a lot of traveling, filming his travel.
Well, you got to get a part of this, and I think people would want to see that. And I think people want to see a little bit more story, almost like a Ghost Hunter-esque type of show, but real. I think it'd be kind of cool just to look at the real history and stories behind some of these places. You know, we've been to the Fairfield Inn. You know,
we've been to a bunch of places, man.
Yeah, we have been, and I think that would be a cool aspect to show people of where some of these hidden gems are. Because you always hear about the big ones, right? Like we obviously did a bunch of shows, you know, D.B. Cooper, Bigfoot, all that stuff. But there's plenty of more mysteries out there that people aren't aware of, and like almost like your hometown haunts that are out there. So we talk about that. But all of our information is found at nightmare365.com. So if you want to contact us, I recommend if you have any stories for us, a big thing now is just to call in. And if you want us to share like your story, if we're doing a topic like Bigfoot and you've seen Bigfoot, call in. Our number is on our website, obviously, but it's 732-660-8893, or email us at Matt, because Greg doesn't check his email, so we won't give that out.
Also, like, I mean, people have been commenting on like the Weekday Weirds and the podcast, and like the Weekday Weirds are basically
a separate thing.
That I guess you can say don't really necessarily need to have 40 minutes or an hour or however long, you know, the podcast may be.
Yeah, we did an hour and a half sometimes. So
yeah, so like there are like topics that we want to discuss and we want to hit that will only take like, you know, 10 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes.
And like I think those are cool to do just because it gets our thoughts out, and it's you know, you don't have to dedicate an hour and a half to your day.
Well, I guess you could say like, yeah, they're short, quick podcast or radio, whatever you really want to call these things. They are a podcast, and we do put them out. Like the Erie,
every Wednesday. Yeah,
like the Erie destinations, which we're going to put out. And
those can only be found on YouTube.
Yeah.
On our YouTube channel.
So we'll be doing that. And it's just, I think it's for us, it also gives us a break instead of just, you know, being here for like an hour. And I mean, we're only doing really 2 shows a month.
2 podcasts a month, yeah.
Maybe more. Maybe like, you know, in the future, we won't schedule them every Sunday to get together. Maybe we'll schedule them throughout, whatever. I don't know. But that's just some thoughts. Let us know your thoughts if you have any, you know,
suggestions or anything.
Yeah, stuff you want to, you know, us to talk about or not. I think that the Weekday Weirds have been going over pretty well. A lot of people said, you know, they enjoy them. You know,
especially last week. People loved last week.
Tom DeLonge being a shill.
Yeah, the more and more I think about it, the more and more I listen to that episode that we did. He definitely is.
Yeah, I look at it a bunch of different things. Obviously, we have an agenda here, and you know what we want to do, but we're really into this, and we're not trying to like sell a lot of stuff that I think he is. But I don't know, like how much, because even in the stuff that we talk about, are we duped? You know, like the stuff that we watch.
I'm sure we are. Hell yeah.
That we review. You know, I always thought about what my friends said. That happened in the news. There was a big thing when he went to high school that happened, and the news portrayed it a certain way.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was like, dude, if you knew the real story, that's not how it went down. But so I always think about that in the back of my head when we're doing these different case files and things, where if something happened, it's like, all right, are we reading the right stuff and then regurgitating it to people and like explaining it? That's why I think it's good that we do this, to like really break it down and try to convey our thoughts.
Plus, you got to have multiple sources.
Yeah, it's true. And that's what we try to do. So, I mean, we may not always be right, but we're trying to give you the best information that's rattling here in our brains. But let's get this one started, dude. Let's get the music rolling, as they say in the biz.
I don't know what the fuck business we're in.
Welcome to Nightmare 365.
This is the center of weirdness for the entire
there's tons of unsolved mysteries out there. Witches still exist.
What about monsters?
Do you believe in ghosts?
Bigfoot is not out there.
Bigfoot is definitely out there. UFOs are real.
UFOs might be real.
Do you believe in conspiracies?
I consider myself a conspiracy theorist.
I want to believe in all these case files.
Trust no one. The government lies to you.
We're just two brothers exploring the unexplained, mysterious, and spookiness that lives among us. Case file 43. Get rid of your Alexa, bro.
Why are you hating on Alexa? Isn't there Echo Dot, Nest, everything?
Well, that's what it is. I mean, originally when it first started, and this is case file 43, we're talking about kind of like AI technology taking over. Most notably,
specifically in your home.
Yeah, most notably, like, your Google Home. I guess you could say Siri too, because it's on the phone and it follows you. But Alexa,
but that you can turn off those Siri, right?
All right, so we're gonna get into a lot of different things, I think, and I think this is gonna go down some deep rabbit holes.
Love rabbit holes.
But I'm sure a lot of people have the same feelings, because if you watch anywhere, you see all the same videos, which it kind of made it hard. I was trying to find a lot of information on Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
The Amazon. It's an Amazon product.
Yeah.
She came out in November of 2014, so a little over yeah, it's been 4 years.
Yeah, over 4 years.
So it's interesting. And I thought some of the backstory for Alexa was kind of interesting, which I never knew. I never looked into it. I would have no need for an Alexa at home.
No, but like it seems to me that when people do get it, that they just love it. And it's like almost like your cell phone that you can't live without and you can't fathom life without it.
Well, for me, like looking at it, right? What would you say this is, more of a conspiracy kind of mystery kind of that we delve into? I mean, just the way it is, right? Because this is something for your home, right? Everybody has like these pods or little dots, Echoes, whatever you want to call it. Because when this first came out, this was released as part of the line of Amazon Echo and Amazon Echo Dot, the smart speakers.
Yep.
And then it's just been integrated more and more. And
now you can get, like, I was watching a commercial the other day, and it was like, close the blinds, and the blinds started closing.
Yeah. Well,
like, what are we doing?
Well, just look at what it, like, if you ever looked at the wave of the future, or remember when we were younger, the Jetsons?
Yes.
And
they had a lot of crazy stuff that came true.
You talk about it, right? Like you talk and like, all right, toast some bread or whatever. They had robots and all this other stuff. I mean, that's where we're getting at now with some of this stuff. Yes,
pretty much.
It's a very low end, but I mean, we're kind of slowly integrating with AI.
I did send a funny thing over Facebook the other day.
What?
It said...
Did you post this to your page or?
Yeah. It said, Alexa, take down my Christmas lights.
and what? Like, it just nothing happened.
No, it was just kind of funny.
It would be cool though. I'm sure it might be, one day be able to do that kind of stuff.
Well, you look at like the Nest, right? The home thermostat, which, when it first came out was like fucking $500. Now it's like you can get it for like $100 or whatever.
Well, it's the same thing. Ring is owned by Amazon.
Yeah, so it knows and it learns your pattern of when you're home and when you're not. So it can know when to fluctuate the temperature to your liking. Like, what temperature do you like your house at?
Yeah.
Like, how crazy is that a computer that small can learn what you like and what you don't like? And if that can happen...
Well, that's where it gets into, like, where AI, right? It's a learning processing thing. It's not just like a robot.
Mm-hmm.
A robot just has certain tasks, right, that it can do. But something that can learn and adapt and grow and then learn on its own.
That's scary to me. Because the way people talk about that is that if it keeps evolving the way it is, because AI is here already, we all know that. And if it keeps evolving the way it's going, like people, they were saying, are going to integrate with AI.
Yeah,
it's going to become part of like the human, body.
well, we're not going to be who we are anymore.
No.
You're just going to upload.
And fuck that. That's scary as shit, dude.
Well, because you're not used to it.
No, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Well, it is funny how like old technology or old shows, like we talked about, like the Jetsons, and some of the stuff that, you know, where Alexa came from was from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like they got a lot of their, which I didn't know.
But like if you look back at like any of the old time movies, a lot of that stuff that they had, like in the movies that was made up, like a lot of it's come true.
Well, yeah, because somebody that sees it, looks at it, and somebody that's smart enough, like an engineer, can
Can
look
do
at
it.
it and said, wow, that's a really cool concept. Why don't we start doing that? And once, and you could look back throughout history.
Yeah.
Like even think about like you know, technology's killing us, which I do believe to a certain extent. But
I believe
there's
is.
always been technology, right? Like somebody invented gunpowder, right? That's a form of technology that we use that we didn't have.
Sure.
Now that we have, and it's changed the course of history. Same thing with this, which makes me a little weary as I'm getting older. And just because when we were younger, this wasn't the case. You know, you had to go find a landline or, you know, keep a quarter in your pocket and put it in the payphone to call somebody. Now everybody...
No, you didn't have to keep a quarter. You just did the
Well,
1-800 collect.
Yeah.
Mom, yep.
I didn't think you didn't think I had to talk that fast.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Hey, Mom, it's me.
You have a collect call from.
It's your baby boy.
Go pick me up.
But stuff like that, you know? And then now you go to the store, which is, it's kind of...
Credit cards and like Apple Pay and all that kind of
not
shit.
even that. Like you just see people online and they're just integrated with the phone. It's kind of already built into our hand because everybody's just staring at their hand.
Yes, it is.
And it's not even like we could hang out anymore. And it was true. I watched this video that was just like so depressing. And it's almost say like this is the zombie apocalypse.
Because
Where
like no one was talking, everyone was just on their phone.
Yeah, like everybody's out to dinner and they're just on their phone.
Yeah.
You know, like
I do hate that.
My goal for 2019, if you want to talk about New Year's resolutions,
I think resolutions are bullshit, but okay.
No, I don't like them either. I never make them. You know, when people ask me, I'm like, I'm just gonna keep
my New Year's resolution for 2019 is you know what I almost posted, which was kind of funny, is like when people always have like, oh, 2018 was shit, 2019's better.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like, you said that about 2017, 2018, 2016, 17. Like, come on.
Well, it's just what you make of it, right?
Correct. But go on.
No, but my thing is I can't really get away from it too much because look at this. Yeah. If people want to look around the studio, we have cameras everywhere. You know, we have iPads, phones, computers, webcams, GoPros.
In episode 45, a little preview, we're going to have cameras everywhere. The bathroom, bedroom, everywhere.
It's going to be just like we're just going to be running around the room. No, but...
So what was your resolution? Get away from technology as much as you can?
As much as I can. Like, just instead of always having it with me, like, put it down.
Yeah.
And, like, not always, because they did a study, and, you know, like, the study, like, we check it, like, every 15 minutes, even if we don't get any notifications.
Correct.
And I took all my notifications off. I deleted, like, half of my apps already.
Yeah, I don't have any notifications on my phone.
Yeah, so, like, if somebody did something on, like, even for our stuff here...
Yeah, I don't have that.
I don't, you know, like, all right, if somebody posted or a like or a comment for Instagram, I wouldn't get it until they go on. But that's like one of my things, you know, read a little bit more. I mean, we're both very active, so I don't think it's really going to hurt us too much.
Well, they had a study came out not too long, I think back in October of this year, that it said teen pregnancy is at the lowest it's ever been.
I mean, that's kind of a good thing, right?
It is. They said that in the study. It is kind of a good thing, but it's also very startling, they said, because of why it's so low. Yeah, because people don't communicate. Well, people just are on their phones.
Well, I remember like back in the day, I was very shy, you know, and I probably didn't communicate a lot that I should. And, you know, like you go through those awkward phases.
Sure, everyone does.
But nowadays, I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it from a different perspective where just people don't talk to, you know, each other.
They don't talk to anybody, man. They're just on their phones like, oh, I'll poke you on Facebook or I'll like you on Instagram.
Is that still a thing?
I don't know, but I'm just saying.
No, I know. But that's where this technology gets really crazy because if you look at it too, like Steve Jobs didn't let his children use like a phone that he created.
Correct.
You know, and I mean, studies have come out where they said, you know, don't use your phone until like they're 14.
Well, I didn't have a phone until I was a senior in high school.
Yeah, same thing. I had a beeper, and then I had a cell phone.
I remember you had a beeper.
Which I don't, like, looking back on it, like, it was such a cool thing to have. But I was
Beep,
like,
beep, beep, beep,
yeah, it
beep,
was
beep, beep.
just so stupid. Because then you would still have to go somewhere to get, like,
Yeah.
to make a call or,
How much were those?
I don't know.
But just think about that. Like, technology has evolved from that
to now
to where we are now.
we could,
You have a computer in your hand.
yeah.
That's crazy. Well, they were saying, if you look into like phones or whatever, since we're on that soon there's going to be a screen that's on your like forearm, so you don't even need the phone. So it's just going to be here, or like they have those glasses,
The Apple Watch.
Yeah, the Apple Watch.
Like any of those things.
Yeah, it's gonna evolve from there, which I could totally see that happening.
Yeah,
like you're gonna have to you think about something, and it's gonna be there. I mean, they already have that for like people in wheelchairs who can't use their hands. Like they just like look at a certain thing.
Well, the thing too with this whole technology kind of taking over, like the thing that gets me, and if you listen to a lot of smart people, and I've been listening to a lot of Elon Musk lately,
which he's stupid smart.
Yeah, but he seems normal.
He does,
because he's just like your normal guy. He like takes time to think about what he's saying, and
he
just
hates
like
AI.
But he says like it's creepy because he gives a warning, and he's like, everybody always asks him, no matter what show he's on or what he does, they're like, oh, AI taking over, blah blah, almost like Skynet.
Sure.
Like Google Skynet. People talk about that shit all the time, and then saying, all right, whatever, and he's always like, it's already here.
It is already here.
And he's like, yeah, I'm afraid of it. And like the one thing when I remember watching the interview when he's just sitting there and he's like, not even like looking, he just like closes his eyes, his head down, is like, yeah, it's already here, and nothing we could do about it. And I try to warn people, but it's too late. And you hear from somebody like that, that
who's
is
freaked out about that shit, and he's all about technology.
Yeah, he is. But talking about how it really is, I think in the long run, and getting to the point where, what is it, the millionth year? I never really heard of this term.
Yeah, I didn't really hear this either
until a little bit. But people always say it's more of a concept, right? And it is a book. But they talk about the millionth year. It's not essentially like a year. It's more of a concept where humans, either you integrate with technology and you're part of it, whether it's downloaded and you are whatever, like a robot, or it's, I don't know, like there's so many, I can't even fathom it, but it's part of that. We're part of technology, and if not, you're kind of wiped out.
Like the one thing I kind of thought about when I heard about that is it would be like for like medical reasons, wouldn't you? It would be like kind of I could see him like selling us like this, like, oh, you need this chip in your body because it's gonna tell us like if your blood levels or if you have a disease or sickness coming on, so we could treat it before it happens.
But they can find that stuff in your DNA.
I know, but I'm just saying, like I could see it like going to that.
I always wanted a button that you could push, or like almost like a watch, right? You have a watch on,
yeah.
And you could look at it, and it says like when you're full. Like, all right,
when you're full.
Think about this, right? You have to poop, you have to pee, and you're in like this random place, and you're like, damn it, why did it have to hit me here? Like I could look at my watch and be like, all right, I'm 80% filled.
80% filled.
Yeah, 80% filled, and I know when I get to 85, I'm gonna have to go. So you know what? Let me just hit the dump button, and it just
dump button,
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and then you just
that's it.
Dump it right out.
No, you're here, right? I'm home, but I know in like an hour I'm going out to do a podcast.
So
I don't
have a fear of using public bathrooms.
No, I don't.
What that is.
I don't. I just squat over it, and it's all good. But I'm just saying, wouldn't that be cool to have like that kind of button?
I mean, I wouldn't want that button. I don't really give a shit about that.
Why? I think that'd be cool. Just
you gotta go. You gotta go. You don't gotta go.
I understand, but you're in a long car ride. You never like to stop in long car rides, right?
I have been lately.
Oh, you've been changing it up.
I gotta go more. I drink a lot more water now.
But I'm saying, wouldn't that be cool? You could look at your levels and then say like, all right, I'm gonna go now, and then for like the next 3 hours, I can look at my levels and be like, I'm not even near my fill line. I just think that would be kind of cool. So maybe I would integrate with something like that.
So you would integrate with a
dump button.
With a dump button. I would not.
All right.
I would go more along the lines of like disease and like sickness.
Yeah, but
Like if I'm getting a common cold, I want to know that so I can treat it like a day earlier.
yeah, but
Never get sick again, son.
so then we're never gonna die. We're overpopulated as it is. As
We
much
are
as
overpopulated.
I don't like to see people die, and recently we had people in our family pass away.
That's in one episode we need to do.
What?
Cure for cancer.
All right, we could do that too.
Because a lot more people have been saying that lately.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I'm not reading too much into it.
And it does make sense. Like as fucked up as that sounds.
Like humans didn't come from Earth. Makes sense. I know you didn't buy that whole theory.
I didn't buy that whole theory.
All right,
But
that these are other topics. I know we're off basis right now.
But like,
let's reel it in.
I know. But if you look into that, it does make sense because we are overpopulated, and that's like one way to control it.
It is.
Now, getting with that,
Right.
the government like controlling stuff. Do you think like they're tapping into Alexa and all these whole things? Like the one video where it's like, Alexa, do you work for the government? And refuses to answer that question.
So I try to do like my due diligence and watch it and read. Like you could go to Amazon, which I did, and look at like the Alexa and Alexa device, like facts, questions, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I sift through this. It's a lot. You can read the whole like manual, and I'm not going to get into the technicalities about this, like purchasing it, like what it does, like where does it store data, all this stuff, because that's what you have to think about. Like where is all this data that they're taking in?
It's up in the cloud.
Great, but who has access to that?
Everybody.
Well, that's the same thing too. Like think about not just Alexa, right? If you have a Ring system, now there's a couple different ways you could do this with the Ring, and I'm sure this is like you talked about with the Nest and all this other stuff, right? And anybody can probably break in if you're smart enough to kind of hack into some of these things. But Ring is owned by Amazon.
Yep.
Now they have a feature where all this stuff gets shared, like it uploads to say a server.
Mm-hmm.
Like to put it in like terms that there's some stuff that I'm still iffy about, like knowing. But all right, it goes to the server, right?
Yep.
Now it's not a server that you can access it, but it's not like your server. It's not like something like you have a hard drive and it goes to your hard drive. You could see it, and if you want to share it, you could share it. No, it's already somewhere, and people now can view you. So if you have the Ring and you can get it for inside security and outside, because I actually looked into the just getting for outside. But now imagine you're just walking around naked. People have access to that, and see
They do, man. I would wave.
Yeah, but see, like this is the thing, like where does it cross the boundaries?
That crosses the boundary, of course.
Yeah, and that's where when people say like I have nothing to hide. Well, that's kind of a problem.
Well, you do. Everyone does. I don't care who you are.
Well, yeah, because why do we shut our doors? Why do we lock our doors? Why do we close our blinds?
Yep.
All this kind of stuff. So
Correct.
yes, we do have stuff to hide.
You do.
And we may not be doing bad stuff, but everybody likes their privacy to a certain extent.
Correct. Everyone wants
and
alone
same
time
thing,
or
like,
whatever.
If you look at the stuff here for Alexa, when she only comes on and records or gathers that information,
Which I think
is when
is
you
bullshit.
Like you wake her up.
No way.
And this is what we're going to get into.
Yep.
So if you look at a lot of the different stuff, like that's what it says on Amazon, so you could look and get information through there. I mean, I don't need to share like this. I think everybody can go to Amazon.com and look it up. And all you have to do is in the search bar is just type in Alexa and you can find the information and read all about this.
Alexa.
If you wake up. I mean, we can play some of the creepy stuff. Because then I was looking through Twitter, I was, sifting through Twitter and see, people, what they had, their experience and stuff. And they said a lot of different things about like it waking up and playing creepy music.
Sure.
Or like laugh. Like, remember the big thing? The big thing was it's laughing.
That is kind of funny and creepy at the same time.
Yeah. And there was a couple things too, which this one's a good one too to watch, and there's one where they ask all the different religions, right? And they were asking about Jesus, and it's like, I don't know that, like I don't have that information. And, all these people are freaking out because they're like, she's getting all of her information from Wikipedia, from all the, like, any God out there besides Jesus, and it wouldn't answer the Jesus. Same thing with like this one video. I don't know if you want us to play it.
Yeah, go ahead and play this.
So this one guy is just, it looks like he's in his hotel room.
Hey, just asked Alexa if he works for the government.
Yeah, so we'll play it.
Alexa, do you work for the NSA?
It just shut off.
Yeah.
Alexa, Do you work for the NSA?
It shuts off again.
Okay. Alexa, do you work for the government?
I can't find the answer to the question I heard.
Alexa, do you work for the government? Yes or no?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question I heard.
Alexa,
So this is a common theme. Like if you look around and you look at all these different videos, all these people ask the same questions.
Yeah.
You know, do you work for the CIA? You know, does Amazon work for the CIA? Does Jeff Bezos work for the CIA? All this other stuff. And, you know, are they giving information?
Alexa just shuts off usually.
Yeah, most of the time, like in the videos, they shut off. I don't know one, so I don't know. I'm just going by what people say and like what I hear on, you know.
What
like,
do you think? Like, do you think?
Well, we have a smart TV right here in the studio.
Correct.
So, I mean, they can listen to that. Now, there is steps that you can take.
Yes,
Right?
there is.
All right, for like some type of like a device like Alexa, just don't own it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true.
You know, there is stuff with your phone where you can turn off like,
Location.
You can.
Surrey.
well, that's the same thing with like Facebook, right? Remember when Mark Zuckerberg, there was a whole big thing and they're like, oh, do you, do you track your people? And like he gave this like roundabout answer. Well,
yes.
they can turn off the settings. So
Yeah.
the setting's already on. You know, all this other stuff it's
And they make it so damn hard, so you can't find it or you can't do it.
right. So they definitely take that information. And what you were talking about before, like when we were just bullshitting before the show, when you were talking about how you go certain places and they have ads that now come up.
Yeah, so like I was saying, whether you're shopping online or even in the store, whatever you're looking up, like let's say you go on to like a clothing store and you're looking at clothing that, you know, let's say you didn't even pick up, like you didn't even like buy it. You go on to another site, whatever it is, Google, and their ads pop up. And usually 9 times out of 10, that store that you were just shopping at comes up on those ads.
Well, it's a little different than kind of like the Alexa, like what she does and all like the
It is.
interactive stuff. I mean, they're
But it's
just
like almost
collecting
like the
data,
same thing. It's tracking what you look at and what you want to buy.
but there's stuff in your phone.
I know.
right, that does, that does that. Like, so if you're part of like Facebook, like this is my whole big thing of like Amazon or like Alexa being on social media, like you're signing up for stuff that you don't even know. Like,
Well, you
do you read the privacy stuff for Facebook?
well, yeah, your shit's not even your shit.
Well, that's like my big thing when we had this discussion with one of our buddies, about posting pictures of their little baby, like their newborn, right? That's not your picture anymore.
Nope.
Once you post that, they could use that in like a Gerber baby thing.
Yeah,
and
it's not
you can't do
you
shit
can't do
anymore.
shit about it.
Yeah, so
Mikey likes it.
yeah, there's all like that's kind of like crazy to think about, and they
But
get
see, people don't think about that, and people don't realize that until it affects them. But that goes with anything, really.
true.
I mean, it really does. Like people don't care about it unless it affects them.
Yes, it is true. And by the way, Helen mentioned on the chat and on YouTube that she would want a chip to increase the percentage of the use of her brain.
See,
which would
there
be
you go.
kind of cool. So she doesn't want the dumb button.
She doesn't want the dumb button.
No, but all right, no, but well, that's where it's like getting interactive. And one of the things that I heard, which was a cool theory about, like tracking, right? With, all these chips, and that whether it's a chip in you or just a chip on your phone when you go
Your
past
car.
these. Yeah, because they're built
Easy
into the
Pass.
systems. Like their display now shows you all right, you walked past this and we know you looked at it, or maybe you just talked about it. Because a couple
That's a lot. That happens to me a couple of times.
yeah, a couple of people said like, all right, we didn't do anything, we didn't search it, and then all of a sudden we just talked about it and something popped up. And I had a couple friends talk about this, where it was one of these things where they said like, I didn't search anything. Like, what the fuck? Like we walked past it, so maybe like the chip or however they're tracking it. But that's the whole thing. Like if you look at AI, and I read this quote from this gentleman. I forget it. I should have, bookmarked it when I saw it. But he talks about how it's learning. Like if it's a learning program and it's trying to learn humans, it's learning like a disgusting habit of humans.
Correct.
Because you're just looking at stuff that they post on like social media,
Yeah.
and then also just like your habits of buying shit.
Yeah, but like 9 times out of 10, I would say like the social media, well, especially on Instagram, because I don't really use Facebook that much anymore. Instagram is the highlight reel. I call it the highlight reel of your life. It technically is. Like no one posts like, like, oh, I feel, shitty today. Here's a picture of me looking shitty.
No.
They don't. It's just the highlight reel.
Okay.
So, I mean, in that aspect, whatever. But
Yeah, I mean, it's really just for a way to advertise it. And it's really like some person even described like social media and all that stuff is just like sucking the soul out of yourself. I don't know. Some people say that's going a little too extreme.
But I don't know.
Greg never knows.
Can you think back when there was no social media
Yeah.
and what life was like? And like, let's say tomorrow, every social media thing got deleted.
I'd be fine.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, what do you think people would do?
Freak out.
People would freak out and like not be able to function. Like, what are you going to check on your phone now?
Nothing.
The weather? Play Snake? Remember? Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, that was on an old version of the cell phones.
That was awesome. I love that game. But like, yeah, people would freak out if they didn't have technology because it's become so much a part of them.
Well, there is studies that have been shown like anxiety levels, and this is where it gets kind of tricky because I don't know if this is just like the way of the culture, the way it is, and like everybody's outraged, and there's a lot more school shootings now. There definitely is a lot more school shootings now
There is, yeah.
than anything. And is it because all these shootings happen because people are anxious?
No, I think it's copycat, usually.
Yeah, but
or like, look what I could do.
Yeah, but there is studies that show like if people don't get like an instant gratification from the social media, right?
Well,
like,
yeah, that's a
if
a
I
big
post
thing.
if I post something and it doesn't get like 20 likes within the first 2 minutes, like people freaked out.
Yeah, people do freak out.
So,
And what's amazing to me is people are professional YouTubers and bloggers and Instagrammers.
I mean, we're not professional. We're just doing this as a hobby. But
No, I know that, but I'm just saying people like make,
oh yeah.
buku money off that.
Well, that's the same thing. Instead of going to watch a sporting event now, people go watch, people play video games. I mean, people did that back in the day. So you can't say that's not like a huge thing.
That's
but
fucking ridiculous to me. Okay.
you're getting really heated about
It's
this
one thing to go over your friend's house and, you're playing video games and you watch the person go before you. Like the rule was like you go until you die. And then we switch, we switched controllers.
Yeah.
And then you watch me. But now you sit home and you pay $20 a month or whatever you pay
on Twitch. Yeah. All these different
to
things.
watch people play video games. Like, what are you fucking doing with your life? Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, I could say the same thing about you.
What do you mean?
I mean, we're all into something, right?
We are all into something, but I don't sit there and watch somebody play goddamn video games. I watch sporting events, yes.
You watch people work out.
Yeah, but that's totally different.
How is that different?
That's a sporting event. It's like watching people play football.
Well, people equate like video games to chess, right? Or there's different moves in the game. I'm just looking at it because I'm not saying like
I'm not watching somebody play Fortnite.
Okay, but like I don't.
That's like the big game now.
Even
right?
when I was little, I was never huge into video games.
Well, apparently you are. You almost bought a Nintendo.
I'm thinking about buying it still. I have 7 hours left.
What is it? Nintendo.
Yeah, it's almost like a Game Boy. It's a handheld. It's
Why
$30.
don't you just buy regular Nintendo?
This has over 100 games in one little thing, and I could just carry it. So if I'm in a car, instead of checking my phone, I could just play that.
So now your New Year's resolution went right out the window.
No, because I'm not sitting here. I don't check social media as much as you do.
Probably not.
So I mean, there is things. I don't know. It's just different, right? Like people that have different interests.
They do.
Like watching video games, where you watch like picture this back in the day, because you're really into this. But
Really into what?
like working out and
Correct.
watching people work out. Now imagine back in the day when you first, if I came to you, say in high school when you first started working out and like lifting
Pumping
weights.
iron, though.
I understand that, but
Arnold.
like not to the extreme that it is now.
Well,
like
no.
that was more of a process. That was like a documentary
Correct.
thing to get to like an end goal,
They
right?
do have documentaries about working out.
I know, but I'm saying like if somebody came to you and be like, yo, you're going to be in like 20 years, you're going to be so enthralled that you're just going to sit. Like if I put a chair on the side and you just watch everybody work out, you'd be doing this in 20 years. You would say, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but see,
you would.
It's like a sporting event, though.
you look at it as a sporting event. Now, why can't like a video game be like a chess thing? Because a lot of people are growing up.
Chess.
No, I'm just equating it to chess.
That's
just
like
my
me watching
analogy.
the Oregon Trail. Remember the Oregon Trail?
Yeah, people did that. People crowded around. I remember that in like 5th grade. People crowded around.
Are you
Yeah.
gonna make it over the river?
Yeah.
Stop it.
And people watched it. But I'm saying like that's a thing, right? Just like when people grow up and they're really good at video games, they become like almost like drone operators or you know like
Well,
these
they do
bomb-
have a drone racing league, DRL.
But I'm saying like see it's a different thing. You're just looking at it through a different prism.
I guess so, but still.
I'm just saying it's kind of the same. And don't get me wrong, I have my same kind of thing. Like who would have thought like instead of watching regular TV, my first go-to when I get home is go onto YouTube and just watch like creepy videos, like documentaries or you know, I would have never thought that.
When
like,
was
in
YouTube created?
I don't know the exact date. I could look it up for you if you want.
Because like that was like a big thing. I mean, you look at any of these like social media platforms, like Netflix, Amazon Prime now. I think like all these like cable networks
Yeah.
are getting taken over by like, you know, YouTube. Same with like Blockbuster and West Coast Video and what was Suncoast Video and like all those. Like they got obsolete.
I know when Netflix and all that stuff, and I'm sure Netflix and all them are gonna stop, you know, producing anything. But yeah, it looks like in 2005, I guess it went official.
Netflix in 1997. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Netflix came to people at Blockbuster and were like, "Yo, we have this, you know,
Yeah.
thing," and like, and then
They kind of laughed at them.
yeah, Blockbuster laughed at them, and now look at it.
Yeah.
So
There's only one location on Blockbuster still open.
we should go.
Do you think they still have the
I
adult
missed it.
video
I like
section?
see. I'm like it's a different thing nowadays because
But people don't even like see. That's a kind of funny thing. Like younger people don't even know that feeling. Like going Friday night, like, hey, can we go to Blockbuster pick out a movie?
yeah, like you got you know your candy, your popcorn, and
Yeah.
like oh let's pick up dinner. You know, like pick up dinner like Chili's, which is right next door to our Blockbuster.
It was,
So
yeah.
you pick up some like food. You come home, you eat, and then
Or
you sit
Macaroni
down.
Grill.
Yeah, right. But it's a different like. I always try to look at things through the perspective of somebody that's doing it or why they're into it, and I just don't always try to like bash it because it's your thing. Like
I get that, but
like
still.
remember when I was growing up, like mom was like, "You're really into all this horror and like weird stuff and like UFOs and ghosts," but I'm like, "Yeah, this is kind of what I'm into." You
I know
know?
what I'm into.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So everybody has their own thing that they really are into. And same thing that like if you look at people that create these like artificial intelligence and you look at them and like, dude, you're weird. You're like
See, I don't.
you're killing us.
Well,
I think eventually they're gonna kill us. It's really
iRobot.
Terminator, yeah, iRobot. I love Will Smith and it's so true. I think that's really true, man.
I don't think AI like the people. They don't come up with it with the intention of like it killing us, but they come up with like they don't really know the true power of.
Hitler didn't have the intention of, you know, he didn't come up with it to be, you know, like
That's another fascinating topic.
like people think that like he doesn't look at it like he's doing something bad. Yes, maybe, you know, he knows he's going to kill people, so that's really bad. But
Correct.
at the same time, like when you think you're doing something that's really good, you know, like every movie kind of has that arc of the story.
Sure.
Where you're like, you know, this is really going to help somebody. What's the guy's name that created the gas that ended up killing a lot of the Jews during World War II?
I don't know.
I forget his name. I'm really sorry. But he did the same thing. He thought he was doing something really good to help like humanity down the road. And then all of a sudden he comes up with this thing that really ends up wiping a lot of like his culture out. So there's a lot of things like
That topic fascinates me.
yeah, like YouTube, right? YouTube, it comes out. You don't think it's gonna like kind of take over and do anything bad, but it could. Like,
But like here's like another problem too. They censor it. They censor Facebook. They censor Google. They censor YouTube.
well, yeah. If you just look up the same thing with like when they ask, like the thing is asking about all these different gods,
Yep.
and like they get to Jesus, and it's like I can't find any information. And it's like
You fucking liar.
you just found everybody else's Wikipedia, and like you could pull up Jesus's Wikipedia. So like, yes, they do censor shit. And another thing too, like getting back to Alexa, where they
But hold on, I have a question about that.
all right.
Why do you think they censor it? Why?
Well, getting back to our original point in the very beginning, right? Like everybody has an agenda. So what's their agenda? Like, what's your belief, right? Like getting back, you like working out, you look at it as a sporting event. So you're like, this is what I'm into. This is what I like. You don't like it, but I don't care that you don't like it because I'm going to kind of show you what I like.
Correct.
So maybe that's what they're doing. And they don't think they're doing anything wrong.
No, see, I disagree, man. I really do.
Well, like
because they want to sway your views.
They do, but they don't think they think their view is correct.
They, I understand that.
That's the same thing, right? I went to school for history, and what I do, like you get a lot of this like people ask you questions and stuff. I don't like politics. I hate politics. But everybody, if I talk to somebody, they'll be like, you're on the other side. I'm like, I don't care about sides. We're all getting fucked in the end.
Yeah, I don't care about sides either. I just want to, I want the person to do right by us.
Yeah. And a lot of
nine times out of 10, they don't.
No. I mean, you could see the same cycle. My life isn't affected any differently. Our taxes are always going up here in this weird state of Jersey. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. We had a Republican before. Now we have a Democrat. So it's the same shit. But that, without being said, they do affect some of the stuff. Like,
I mean, they sway our opinion, or they want to sway our opinion in one way or the other.
Right here, and this is whole thing too. Which getting back to Alexa and the points, right, where it talks about how it kind of evolves, right? So here's where it gets tricky. Like Amazon can kind of wipe their hands clean about spying on us. But if you look at like some of the agreement, right? I said, go look up on Amazon.com and look and read through the whole thing.
Love Amazon, by the way. Amazon Prime, you get your packages the next day.
I know, trust me.
I like Amazon.
Okay, well here's the thing. Now this is where it gets tricky about spying or not spying. I mean, I think that's kind of the main thing about the whole topic tonight.
They definitely are.
Right. So Alexa has, or they extend to users to be able to create, as they call it, skills. So it's like an app, right? So I can create an app and make it do whatever I want and be a part of Alexa or the dimensions or whatever Amazon really is. And that's the whole thing where it said with some of these apps, there was the development of this. I think it was in early 2018 where security researchers managed to turn one of the Echoes into a spy device by creating some of this like skills or an app, like, and they put malware in it, and it started recording all these conversations and without these users even knowing it. And there was one case too where a person got like their neighbor's whole conversation.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, and
imagine that
they didn't even know, like, and it was just one of those things. And then all right, so then getting back to the point where this woman, she said there's Tiffany Lee. She said there's no proof or confirmation from Amazon that the Echo products, record everything, with a person's conversation in their home.
Yeah, but how do you even know that? You don't.
Well, that's where it gets tricky. And like if you look at some of the stuff, it says it does record information. And like we talked about information too with our buying habits, it does record and store that data. So, maybe next time you're running low on milk, it'll order milk for you. Or,
Wasn't that a thing? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah. But
that's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's all these different things and the skill sets in here that people can bring up.
Because they get a fridge, a Samsung fridge. I think it's a Samsung fridge.
Yeah.
That like it's like a smart tablet on the fridge. So when you're running low on something, it automatically orders it for you.
Yeah. The woman, Tiffany, also even noted that the Amazon has been less forthcoming all about the circumstances surrounding the recording practices.
No fucking
so
shit.
That'll tell you something too. And then now I have 2 sheets, which it could fill up a lot more too if you really want to look into it. There's different cases where, again, in November of this last year, Amazon sent a little, just under 2,000 recordings of an American couple that was unrelated to like a European man. So this person got information kind of like across, the pond from the United States into here. And, they brought it up, the people brought it up, and like the man even came forward and he said like he received all these recordings, reported, anonymously to Amazon and just said, hey, here's a problem. The company did not notify like the victim. and then like the victim found out, and then the guy who told them like found out because it was reported in a magazine.
Sure.
And like then he was like, what the hell? Like I reported this so long ago and you did nothing about it.
Yeah.
And then now like I just told the family and now it's in a magazine. Like how did that happen? Like you guys did nothing about it. So there's tons of reports like this, you know, where Amazon also blamed, you know, an incident on human error, called it an isolated incident, about all this other stuff where in May of 2018, I try to get all the recent ones where an Amazon Alexa device in Portland, Oregon recorded another thing, same kind of concept. I mean, you can go through the list and it's really the same story where a family's conversation was recorded and sent all their contacts without their knowledge, all like just basically all the conversations that they were having in their background. So there's tons of these stories. Yeah, even a judge from New Hampshire ruled in 2018 that authorities could examine records from Amazon Echo devices recovered from home of a murder victim.
I mean, that's kind of good to
This was
have.
a big thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of good because someone got murdered.
I understand that.
You find out what's going on.
But all that gets down to like the whole thing.
But that's like almost like security cameras then.
Right. No, that is. And
So-
like that's the same thing with security cameras everywhere.
Well, like, that's
you
like
have
the-
to realize once you step out of this house, you're being filmed.
Well, that's like the thing. What Apple had with the FBI, they wouldn't unlock the
The phones.
phone.
Yeah. Which is a good thing, and I don't think they should.
They,
See, and that's where you think you're doing good. But see, this judge ruled in, you know, what was it? In November.
but like in
last
murder
year.
cases and like criminal cases, you should.
Yeah, where it
You
was,
should be able to.
It was used as evidence against the guy Timothy. Investigators believe that the device, which belonged to the victim's boyfriend, could have captured audio of the murder and the aftermath.
Did it?
I didn't look into it, and there was not a lot of information. I didn't follow up on this report. I was just trying to find reports of like
Sure.
different things. Obviously, not just the recordings where it would send it to your contact information or your neighbors or somebody across, you know, like the world.
I mean, it does make the one thing I will say about like any of these, it does make life pretty cool. Like imagine if you had like a party going on, you had outdoor speakers, or not even a party, you're just hanging out outside. Hey Alexa, I want to hear whatever Tom Petty.
Yeah.
Starts playing. Like you don't have to go on YouTube, search it, or like through your iTunes account.
I mean, I kind of have something similar where I just have a speaker
Yeah.
and I just have it playing outside and I just have it playing Pandora and I can carry it anywhere. So
No,
that's
I
kinda
get
cool.
that. But people, it's become so convenient for people that same like with any social media or technology or phone now, that it's become so convenient that they don't want to give it up and they can't imagine life without it.
Well, it's the same thing. Like
Credit cards, same thing like debit cards. When was the last time you carried like a lot of like change and cash on it? You know what I'm saying?
I hardly have any cash unless I know I'm going somewhere. Like
Yeah.
we're going somewhere Thursday. I'm carrying cash because they got a 50-50, son.
They also got a bobblehead giveaway.
So I can't wait. And it's going to be, if we get it, it's Ghostbuster. It's going to be right here in the studio with us.
That is a pretty cool giveaway.
It is. So do you think we should make it for,
I think we definitely should.
be the first 9,000 fans? Hopefully we are, because that would be cool. I would like to have that ball. But that's a side note.
Side note.
Maybe we'll take a picture of it and put it on our Instagram when we get it. But that's the thing. And like, I think we have different views in some ways on this because it's like,
We definitely do.
because it's good. It's a necessity. And same thing.
I don't think. See, I wouldn't own one. I don't think I would own one.
I wouldn't.
It's too.
Well, here's the thing, right? So say if I pick up a clicker and try to change the channel right now. All right, what's faster? Hey, Alexa, turn the channel to whatever. Or I could just hit the button. It becomes a point where it's like, all right, what's convenient? What can you do without?
Sure.
And I think I can do without like an Alexa. And I already have so many spying devices on me. I have my phone. I have my laptop. I have like the smart TVs now.
See, I never really thought about the smart TV.
Yeah, they could do the same thing. There's anything with a microphone or anything with the capability of that thing. Here's another side note. If you ever look at Mark Zuckerberg's, which I have it over my webcam.
Okay.
You see this like little thing over the webcam?
Yeah.
It's just a little piece of, fiber that you put over the webcam because they can essentially turn that stuff on.
Yes.
And he has one over his.
Look at American Pie. That's how the guy was broadcasted over.
Yeah. So the more technology.
What happened to Mark Zuckerberg though?
No, he just has one of these things over his computer. And he's like, people always asked him, like, why are you afraid of, security or something? It's like, yeah, I don't want people looking at me.
See, but here's that pisses me off.
Why?
Your whole company is spying on fucking people and sharing their information, but you're fucking worried? Fuck you, Mark.
Wow.
No, I fucking hate that shit.
You get hated quick.
No, it's bullshit.
No, I agree. But
Like, you could spy on me, but you don't want to get spied on?
well, here's the thing.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander, my friend.
Whatever that means.
A
But-
gander's pull the old switcheroo on him.
But here's the thing. Like, you signed up for that.
No, I totally get that.
And
But
most
he
people-
he signed up for him when he got a computer.
No, I understand that. But
So you pal,
well, I signed up for a computer and I did the same thing. You know.
you too.
But I know, and you take these safety precautions.
You want to film me? Go ahead.
And there is a lot of stuff that you can buy to protect yourself from being spied on or being tracked and trying to leave less of a digital footprint. And there is ways. And if people look at it, but that's the same thing where it's down to convenience. Where I always had a conversation with somebody that we know that was always like, I want really good coffee, but I use a Keurig. I was like, well, get this, French press.
Why do they use Keurig if they want good coffee? That
Because
coffee is
it's
shit.
because it's convenient. But that's the same
Yeah,
thing.
that's
It's
bullshit.
convenient, right? To have a cell phone, it's convenient to have all these things.
Well, if you don't have a cell phone these days,
You're kind of out of the loop.
you're out of loop. But it's it would be easier
Well,
because everyone has a cell phone. You'd be like, hey, can I borrow your phone to make a phone call instead of going to the payphone?
well, yeah, think about that. Who put out the challenge? Was it Vitamin Water or whatever the company is, where they put out a challenge to like not use a cell phone for a whole year, and they would give you like 100 something.
I would do it.
I mean, it already started.
Damn it.
But I thought that would be pretty
2020,
cool.
my year.
If they do it again, I'll definitely sign up for it.
Well, I can't because my job.
Well, you're out.
I have my cell phone
You lost.
because
But-
that's what we do.
I don't know. I don't know with all this stuff. And I mean, I definitely know that they're spying on us, but it's not to the point, and I don't think people are afraid because like you said, it doesn't affect them.
They should be.
But here's the thing, right? That data's sitting somewhere. So someone eventually can access that. And granted, they may not be looking at us, but they can,
Sure.
and that's the whole big thing. Like, oh, why would they be, spying on me? Well, how do you know some creep next door is not obsessed with you and has that? Maybe they work for one of these companies that collects all this data and uses it and be like, you know what? One day I'm just going to get on my computer, type it up, and look up this person's information and see.
That's fucked up to think about.
No, it is. But didn't you do that with like anything when you were growing up?
What?
Like, think about like any girl that you liked. You try to find information on her, or just something that you're really into, right? You try to find as much information as possible.
Case file 43. Mac has a restraining order against him.
No, but there is stuff like that, man.
There is. I mean, when you started dating a girl or wanted to date a girl, you looked all over her Facebook account.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, like look, try to get as much information as the girl you liked. You asked your friends, but nowadays,
you don't really.
you
have
could be a psycho living next door and just tap into a couple keys if you're smart enough, or if you work for their company and just get all the information.
just turn on
Wasn't-
that Alexa and then you can hear her.
Well, wasn't that one thing? What was it? One of the actresses or whatever. It was on the cloud, like all these naked pictures.
Oh
of
yeah,
that.
yeah, the guy
And it was
accesses
released.
that.
Same thing, man. Like that's it. And people say like, oh, I don't have anything to hide. Some people do, and that's a big thing. Where, where do you outweigh like your security,
For convenience.
and comfort for a little bit of privacy, and a lot of things too. Like getting back to your thing, I know you want to talk about 9/11 and the Patriot Act. I mean, you could just look at that. Like a lot of our securities went out the door with
Well,
that.
yeah, that was a jumping off point to take away a lot of securities.
Yeah, and a lot of people believe too, like some of these companies use that to really kind
I'm
of
sure they do. Yeah.
get in. See, and that's a scary thing. Like, do you want to be able to, like, we do this for fun,
Mm-hmm.
but like, imagine if somebody came to our door and was like, "You can't do this anymore, man."
I'd be like, "Fuck you, pal. Let's go."
Well, you're being arrested now.
For what?
You can't say
Being
all that
awesome?
stuff. You can't say this stuff. But that's the thing. I don't know. Like, where does it end? Like, where does the spying end? And are people going to give up enough of that, privacy and security for a little more comfort?
They definitely will. They
I-
definitely already do.
So you think that they definitely spy on you no matter what.
Yep.
Even if
100%.
like these devices are off, like Google, like our phone.
They
anything.
probably record stuff and just store it at a facility, which they do with anything else.
Yeah.
They store your data until they need it. That's it.
Yeah, until they come back and like, oh well, Greg has a court date coming up, and he's been looking at some crazy shit here.
Yeah,
so
let's see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, and they can look it
100%.
up. Oh, you were learning how to make bombs.
Why do you what? There you go. Perfect example. The Unabomber. Why do you think it was so hard for them to catch the Unabomber?
It's off the grid.
It was off the grid, and he used parts from like scrapyards and junkyards, and he never, he wasn't around society.
Yeah.
He didn't have a computer. He didn't have a phone. He didn't have anything, and he took buses, public transportation with cash, no like credit cards, no nothing, to mail these.
Yeah.
That's why it took him so long to catch him.
And that's the one thing, man. Like nowadays, you really have to, like, if you really want to have full security, which I don't think anybody does, because we want to be connected. It is really almost like the Matrix, because we get up in the morning and we got to get that, like, we grab our, probably one of the first things everybody does is grab their phones.
Well, 9 times out of 10, that's because it's probably their alarm.
Mine's my alarm,
But yeah, 9 times out of 10,
and then
people just go.
They plug right back in. Boom,
Yeah.
connect, and you're connected.
Here's like a one thing though, like I don't know if you want to talk about this on like a weekday weird maybe. Is there is so much technology and there's so many people watching cell phone videos and security camera videos. How come like the Vegas shooter, like you didn't really know anything about him? That still like boggles my mind.
Yeah, and it's also like what they want to release, right? So
Correct.
It gets tricky because I do have a lot of thoughts on it, and you almost
weird.
Yeah, well, you almost think like it's like a conspiracy, right? Like all these stuff, like that's where it kind of starts.
Correct.
Because it is, we're all tracked all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like my one job, I remember there was an incident that happened, and they're like, well, how do you know, like, we knew? I was like, we're being videotaped 24/7. Like where we are, we're being videotaped all the time.
Yeah.
On the boats, on the place, in the buildings, like there's video cameras everywhere. So somebody has access to that and could look at that anytime that they want, and it's just, we are being videotaped. And like you go to Vegas, there's cameras everywhere. Like
everywhere.
you go down to DC, like DC, you live
every street corner, every building.
Yeah. And people with the cell phones, people, that's why it's hard for me to believe, like, sometimes this stuff where, like, we don't have any information. It's like, you are in a very populated area. There has to be more than just what you're showing us.
Correct.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know, man.
I don't know. Like my thing is Alexa and any of these like home devices, they definitely are. I think they definitely are spying on you.
Well, yeah, same thing. Somebody brought up on the chat again, like about medical records. Everything is now not like in a folder in a cabinet.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Now everything is medical records. It's stored somewhere, and I'm sure they can be hacked. Like anything
hell yeah.
Anything can be hacked, and it's been proven. Like even our own government systems have been hacked.
Yep. I never really thought about that. Yeah.
So like we can find out all about, we need to. Like even, like when we get a package and it has our name on it, and they're like, oh, rip the name, rip the name off. Don't have your name.
Dude, Mom always like, this is hysterical to me.
Why?
Because like I get mail still here. I don't know why, but I still do. And
Right.
she's like, don't throw that out. I have to shred that. They'll get your address and your name. I'm like, Mom, they already have it.
Yeah,
Like it's out there.
it is.
But like in her little world, in her little mind, like
To toss that.
I'm just saying she's doing good. She's like, oh, I'll shred this. This has your name on it.
No, well, it's true because,
Your shit's out there.
well, no, it goes to another level because then people can go through your garbage and then look at it and be like,
that is,
oh,
I mean, you find out from the burbs that is public property once it is the street.
I understand. So that's why maybe it's best to shred it or not have any information on it, because it is true. And like our names are out there. Like picture what we do. Like our names are out there.
Yep.
And if we don't want people to know, we should have just called ourselves the ghost the whole time.
And just blacked out our faces.
Yeah, that'd be great. Maybe that would have been a
With
cool
like
concept.
voice inter.
People would have loved.
don't know this. You know that.
We should do videos like that. That's what we should do. Like our eerie destinations or weekday weirds.
So what do you think?
we're being spied on all the time. And whether it's through smart TVs, smartphones, Alexa, Google Home, all that kind of stuff, we definitely are being spied on. Like, how do they use this information? Will it be used against us in the future? I don't know. I mean, I think you agree that we're being spied on no matter what.
100%.
Even with all these Alexa, which it is eerie that she, like they could program it to answer, because there's tons of videos of people asking Alexa, do you work for the NSA? Do you work for the CIA? Does Google or, does Amazon or any of these places do? And they can't answer certain questions, but they can answer others. Why can't they program that, like see that and just make a stupid joke about it, right?
Like, yes, I'm spying on you all the time.
Yeah, it would be a lot cooler.
Well, see that
than leave this open as a big like people think this is such a big conspiracy now because it shuts off and it leaves the door open.
So I got a funny story about that.
All right.
So like,
I didn't even share a story that somebody told me the other day, which I can tell after this.
So like when mom would ask me,
Always comes back to mom with you.
Where I was going or what I was doing, like I would legitimately tell her the truth, but it would be so like outlandish that she thought it was a joke. So like they could do that with Alexa. Like, Alexa, do you work for the government? Yes, I'm spying on you 24/7. Have a great day. But then that could be true, because I used to tell mom like, oh, we're going to New York City. We're going to get wasted. I'm going to come back later. And she'd be like, all right, I'll see you later. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, that's exactly what you did.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They could have programmed it, because enough people, and there's enough videos if you look it up, of people asking these stupid questions all the time. And there's videos that have like millions of hits on these, and they're funny, but it does leave that door open and it makes you think. Also, another thing.
What was the story though?
Well, somebody told me they said they were going to call in and leave it, and I would have put it up and I would have shared the story. But it was a security system, right? And somehow somebody got access to it and hacked into it, and it was a famous person, right? Not so famous. They were famous in the area what they did. I think she was like a famous piano player. Anyway, they hacked in and like they recorded all of her conversations in her house. Like she freaked out when she found out, and she got like rid of it and all this other stuff. But it does show you that no matter if it's Alexa, Google, or any kind of security system that they have access to, whether it's the internet or any devices that you have in your home, they can essentially spy on you any way that they can. I don't know, man. I have food for thought, like just final thoughts on this. I mean, just anything that people, I mean, it's a warning. We already had warnings from Elon Musk. We had warnings from, other people like in the tech industry, where people take security measures, like a Steve Jobs not giving, his own kids cell phones. Same thing with Mark Zuckerberg, taking security steps for him. Even if you look at any people around the world, right? They don't want you to have certain things, but they could have armed guards with them. Anything like that, right? And then at what point in our civilization, in our lifetime, are we going to have, we own this stuff, right? I own this computer. I own this cell phone. Like at what point, like where AI is going to take over and where it's going to be so far advanced than we are that we're not going to own this anymore. It's going to own us. So, I mean, that's just my whole thought on the whole thing. Take it as what it is. The only thing I could say is, if you don't want to be spied on or anything, there's really not much we could do besides, taking precautions of, getting on different servers. There is things that we can measure, turn off, certain apps or, microphones on your phones.
Just don't have them.
Yeah, but other than that, like, you really have to get rid of stuff. So
I like it.
It's food for thought, man. Anyway, next week we'll just be coming out with more Weekday Weirds, right? But go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Take a look at our website, nightmare365.com, because all of our past shows can be found there, and all of our contact information. So if you have any stories, stuff like that you want to share with us, please do. We're always willing to listen. And we have some good shows coming up. Georgia Guidestones we're going to be talking about. Project Blue Book, which is on the History Channel now, we're going to be talking about.
I'm excited for that one.
That one's going to be cool because I'm always into UFOs, that. So we'll be talking about that. And check out our Weekday Weirds. I mean, I know they're just like our podcast. So if you download the podcast, I'm sure you've heard these, and they're really just short. We just wanted to put out something extra, just short clips on our thoughts of stuff that we're really not going to dedicate like this for a whole hour on, just, 5-10 minute clips, and help spread the word, on our show, because we do enjoy that stuff. So until next time, stay spooky.